Hey everyone, are you ready to dive into some kayak fishing?
I know you're hooked on this topic,
I am too.
so let's get right to it.
Yeah, today we're going to take a deep dive into kayak fishing in Michigan.
Specifically.
We found this awesome podcast episode from the Motor City Paddle Club, and
They had some great stuff in there.
yeah, it's jam-packed with insights.
Yeah, so we are going to figure out why kayak fishing is blowing up in popularity like it is.
Why is it so popular? We're going to find out.
We're going to look into the amazing variety of fish
That's right.
that you can catch right here in the state.
Right here in Michigan.
And I even have some insider tips.
Ooh, insider tips.
Straight from an experienced angler. That'll help you make your next fishing trip
That's what we like to hear.
a total success.
All right, so the Motor City Paddle Club,
Yeah.
they made a really good point.
Okay.
It's that kayak fishing, it's not just about the fish.
It's not just about the fish.
You know,
Wait.
it's like a whole different experience.
It's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe.
Imagine like
Yeah.
casting your line right next to like a submerged log
Yeah.
in a narrow channel.
Yeah, you can't do that in a motorboat.
Yeah.
You get right up in there.
And a kayak can.
Yeah.
That's the kind of access that it gives you.
That's a great point.
And get to all these places that you just
You can't in a big boat.
can't get to in a motorboat.
Yeah, and they talked about how kayaks just open up this whole new world of fishing spots.
Oh, yeah.
You know, shallow waters, narrow channels, those hidden coves.
All those little places.
Yeah, and, kayaks are easier on the wallet, too.
More affordable.
More affordable.
Way more affordable.
And eco-friendly.
Yes.
Which I think aligns with,
Our values.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we want to be out there,
Yeah,
but we want to respect the environment.
absolutely. And it aligns with that trend we're seeing
Hmm.
of sustainable and accessible outdoor activities.
Totally.
Kayak fishing is something that almost anyone can enjoy.
Yeah, like anyone can get into this.
And they interviewed this seasoned kayak angler,
Oh, yeah.
Mark Stevens, I think his name was.
Okay.
And he was like, kayak fishing totally changed his fishing experience.
Wow.
He loves the freedom to launch almost
I can
anywhere.
put in wherever.
And often he catches more fish because he can reach those hard-to-reach spots.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that makes me think of?
What?
That time we went fishing
Oh, yeah.
on the Detroit River.
When you hooked that massive pike,
Oh, man.
you were freaking out.
My heart was pounding right out of my chest.
You're right there.
I know.
You're so close to the water in a kayak.
You're closer to the water. You're more in tune with the environment. The thrill of the catch is amplified tenfold when you're in a kayak.
Okay, so we're convinced.
Yeah, we're in.
Kayak fishing is awesome.
Sold.
But speaking of gear, what do we absolutely need to get started?
Well, the Motor City Paddle Club podcast gave a great rundown
Okay.
of the essentials.
Okay.
So first and foremost, you'll need a fishing kayak.
You'll need a fishing kayak.
Yeah, and they said you can technically fish from any kayak.
Really?
Any kayak.
But those designed specifically for fishing,
Okay.
they have some serious advantages.
Oh, I bet.
Like built-in rod holders and extra storage.
Oh, that makes sense.
You don't want your gear sliding all over the place.
You don't want your tackle box ending up in the water.
Exactly. And speaking of essential gear,
Yeah.
a personal flotation device,
PFD.
PFD,
Got it.
is non-negotiable.
Super important.
Not just any life vest will do either.
Okay.
You'll want one specifically designed for paddling.
Okay, so it's different.
They're much more comfortable.
Okay.
They give you more freedom to move.
I can see why that would be important.
And they also highlighted the importance of an anchor
Oh, yeah, an anchor.
or a stake-out pole,
a stakeout pole.
which is crucial for staying in one spot while you're fishing.
Right, because you can't just
You're going to drift away.
Yeah.
You don't want to drift away.
you don't want to drift away, especially if you found a good spot.
Oh, and a comfy seat cushion.
Yes.
Okay.
Trust me, after a few hours on the water,
Yeah.
you'll be thanking me.
Okay, I believe you.
And don't forget sun protection.
Sun protection.
Hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, the works.
The whole 9 yards?
Long hours under the sun can be brutal.
Yeah, you can get burned out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so comfort and safety are key.
You think, man.
Now that we know what we need, where should we cast our lines?
Oh, good question.
The podcast gave us a fantastic list of Michigan kayak fishing hotspots.
You did.
And these aren't just any spots.
These are prime locations,
Yeah.
each with its own unique charm and target species.
Each one's got its own personality.
Lake St. Clair, for example,
Okay, Lake St. Clair.
situated between Detroit and Ontario.
Okay, I know Lake St. Clair.
And it's renowned for its shallow waters
Oh, yeah, shallow waters.
and diverse fish population.
Diverse.
So we're talking smallmouth bass, muskellunge,
Musky.
perch, A real angler's paradise.
That sounds awesome.
Precisely. And if you're after walleye, perch, or the toothy northern pike, Saginaw Bay on Lake Huron is another gem.
Saginaw Bay.
The bay's structure provides excellent hiding spots and feeding grounds for those fish.
Oh, cool. So it's like perfect for them.
Then you've got the Osable River up north.
The Osable River.
Known for its crystal clear waters and tranquil surroundings, a fly fisherman's dream.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. I bet you can catch some amazing trout there. Brown, rainbow, brook, you name it.
All the trout.
Absolutely.
Now, for those who prefer a more laid-back experience,
Okay.
Houghton Lake is calling.
Oh, Houghton Lake.
As Michigan's largest inland lake,
The big one?
it's teeming with bluegill, crappie, and bass.
Steamy.
Plenty of space to explore and find your own little fishing haven.
Yeah.
I can already picture us out there on Houghton Lake,
Yeah.
just relaxing and reeling in some crappie.
That sound nice.
But let's not forget about the urban fishing opportunities.
Right. The Detroit River, right on the border of Michigan and Ontario, offers fantastic walleye, bass, and even steelhead fishing, all with the city skyline as your backdrop.
Wow. So you can fish in the city.
And if you're craving a river adventure,
Oh, the Grand River.
the Grand River.
The longest river in Michigan
Wow.
is the place to be.
The longest river in Michigan.
Catfish, smallmouth bass, and carp are just waiting to be caught in its diverse waters.
Wow. So many options.
And we can't leave out the Clinton River in southeastern Michigan.
The Clinton River.
Ideal for those who prefer gentler currents. It's a great place to hook smallmouth bass, pike, and a variety of panfish.
That's a fantastic lineup of fishing spots.
Yeah, we should plan a trip.
But before we grab our gear and head out,
Yeah.
let's talk about some techniques and tips specific to kayak fishing.
That's a great point.
I'm ready to learn how to make the most of our kayak fishing adventure.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it.
Welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
So
We're going to dive right back into kayak fishing here.
we're going to get into the finer points.
Yeah. Of kayak fishing techniques,
Awesome. I'm ready.
drawing on the wisdom of Mark Stevens,
Oh, yeah.
the expert from the Motor City Paddle Club podcast.
He had some great advice
He did.
for kayak fishing.
Specifically tailored to kayak fishing.
Yeah. And he emphasized practicing casting from a seated position.
Yes, that's so crucial.
It is.
You're not standing up with a wide stance like in a boat,
It's different.
so your casting motion has to adapt.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about finding your balance
Yeah.
and using your core for power.
Interesting.
And he said when you're reeling in a muskie,
A muskie.
especially when it gets close to the boat,
Okay.
you got to use a figure-8 motion
Why is that?
to prevent them from breaking your line.
Oh.
Those muskies are strong.
Yeah, they are.
Speaking of tips,
Yeah.
he also mentioned something called an anchor trolley system
An anchor trolley system.
for optimal positioning.
Optimal positioning. I'm not really familiar with that.
Okay, so imagine you've anchored in the spot where the fish are biting,
Okay.
but the wind or current keeps pushing your kayak out of the ideal zone.
Right.
An anchor trolley system lets you adjust your kayak's position along the anchor line,
Okay.
so you have more control over your drift.
So you can kind of move up and down the anchor line.
Exactly, and stay right where the action is.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Picture it like a clothesline strung along the side of your kayak.
Okay.
You attach your anchor line to a ring
Okay.
that slides back and forth.
So you can reposition yourself without re-anchoring.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
It's all about adapting to the unique challenges and opportunities of fishing from a kayak.
I like that.
And one of the biggest advantages of kayak fishing is stealth.
Stealth.
Mark emphasized approaching fishing spots quietly
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
to avoid spooking the fish.
So you kind of sneak up on them.
Kayaks have a much smaller profile than motorboats
Very smaller.
and create far less noise and disturbance in the water.
You're not scaring them away with that big engine.
Exactly. You can silently glide into those secluded coves and shallows where the big ones are hiding.
Ooh, I like that.
Now let's talk about safety.
Safety.
We touched on the basics earlier,
Yeah.
but I'm curious about Mark's additional insights.
Yeah, me too.
He really stressed the importance of practicing re-entry techniques
Re-entry techniques.
in case of capsizing.
Oh, in case you flip over.
It might sound scary,
Yeah.
but it's a crucial skill for any kayaker,
I bet.
especially if you're out on your own.
Yeah, if you're by yourself.
Think of it as like a safety drill for your kayak.
Like a fire drill.
Exactly.
So what does that entail?
It involves flipping your kayak back over if it capsizes,
Okay.
and then getting back in.
Right.
There are different techniques depending on the type of kayak and your own strength and flexibility.
They're bad.
So it's best to practice in a controlled environment
Say.
with an experienced instructor.
Yeah, so like maybe in a pool or something.
That's a great point. Safety should always be our top priority.
Always.
And knowing how to handle unexpected situations can make all the difference.
Safety first.
Absolutely. And safety goes hand in hand with respect for the environment.
Respect for the environment.
Something the Motor City Paddle Club was very passionate about.
Yeah.
They really highlighted the importance of responsible fishing practices.
Responsible fishing practices.
They advocated for catch and release,
Catch and release.
especially for undersized fish,
Yeah.
and promoted leave no trace principles.
Leave no trace.
It's all about minimizing our impact on the beautiful waterways we're privileged to enjoy.
That's important.
Catch and release helps preserve fish populations,
Yeah.
especially for species that are struggling or have size limits.
We got to protect them.
And leave no trace means packing out everything we pack in,
Taking all your trash.
leaving nothing behind but footprints.
Right.
It's about being responsible stewards of nature,
Being good stewards.
ensuring that future generations can experience the same joys of fishing and kayaking that we do.
That's a good point.
You know, thinking about all the different species we can catch in Michigan is really exciting.
It is.
It gets me pumped.
All right, let's reel in some knowledge about those species.
Okay.
The Motor City Paddle Club podcast highlighted some of Michigan's most sought-after fish,
Oh, yeah.
including the mighty muskellunge,
Oh, the muskie.
or muskie as it's affectionately known.
The apex predator
I love it.
of Michigan's lakes and rivers.
They're big.
These fish can grow to incredible sizes.
We've seen some pictures. They're huge.
And they're known for their fierce fighting spirit.
They don't give up.
Not easily.
What are some tips for targeting muskies from a kayak?
Well, first, you'll need heavy-duty tackle.
Okay.
Muskies have sharp teeth,
Oh, yeah.
powerful jaws.
You need some strong equipment.
You need a rod and reel that can handle their strength.
Yeah.
Large lures that mimic their natural prey,
Okay.
like pike or suckers, are effective. And be prepared for a long fight.
They're going to put up a fight.
Landing a muskie is a battle of wills.
Sounds intense.
But remember, muskies are a valuable resource,
Yeah.
so always handle them with care and release them promptly.
We want to keep the population healthy.
Exactly.
Another fish we haven't talked about is the walleye,
The walleye.
a favorite among anglers because of their delicious, flaky flesh.
Oh, yeah.
That's one I haven't had the pleasure of catching yet.
They're often found in deeper waters,
Oh, okay.
so you might need to use a fish finder
Yeah,
to locate them.
to find them.
Jigs tipped with minnows or night crawlers are a popular bait,
Okay.
and be patient walleye are known to be finicky biters.
Finicky biters.
But maybe we should talk about something a little easier to catch.
Okay, like for beginners.
Yeah, like for you,
Yeah.
panfish like bluegill and crappie
Oh, damn crap.
are perfect for novice anglers.
They're easier to catch.
They're abundant, easy to catch, and a lot of fun to reel in.
Where can we find these panfish havens?
They're common in many of Michigan's lakes,
Okay.
often found near weed beds, submerged logs, or docks.
Oh, cool.
Small jigs, worms, or even pieces of corn can entice them to bite.
Corn.
Yeah,
You can use corn.
you can. Sounds like a relaxing and rewarding way to spend an afternoon on the water.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, this deep dive into kayak fishing in Michigan has been incredible.
It has. We've covered so much ground, from essential gear and techniques to safety precautions and considerations for the environment. We've explored prime fishing spots and learned about targeting different species, from the ferocious muskie to the humble bluegill.
But before we cast off,
Okay.
let's take a moment to reflect on the broader significance of kayak fishing.
Yeah, it's more than just a hobby, wouldn't you say?
It is.
Yeah, it really does feel like more than just a hobby.
It is.
Like, we've been talking about kayak fishing for a while now,
Yeah.
and it's clear that it goes beyond just catching fish.
Absolutely, throughout our deep dive, you
Yeah.
know. We've kind of touched on this like transformative power of kayak fishing.
Yeah.
It can really deeply affect our well-being and how we see the world.
Now that you mention it, I've definitely felt that connection with nature while I'm out on the water.
It's built into the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We're surrounded by water, sky, wildlife,
Mm-hmm.
propelled by our own physical effort.
You're working for it.
We feel the wind and the sun on our skin,
Yeah.
exposed to the elements.
Oh, the
That really engages all your senses.
Yeah, it does.
And that immersion in nature, it has
Yeah.
proven benefits for our mental and physical health.
I believe it.
Studies have shown that spending time in nature reduces stress and anxiety,
That makes sense.
even depression.
Wow.
It can improve our mood, boost our brain power,
Really?
and even make us more creative.
That's amazing.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
That makes perfect sense to me because when I'm out on the water, all my worries just kind of fade away.
Uh.
It feels like hitting the reset button on my mind.
I get that same feeling.
Yeah.
The rhythmic motion of paddling, the gentle rocking of the kayak,
Right.
the sounds of the water.
Yeah.
It's incredibly soothing and meditative.
It is.
And there's something about the solitude of kayak fishing that I find particularly appealing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
It's just you and the water.
a chance to disconnect from everything
Unplug.
and just be present in the moment.
Yeah,
Just you, the water, and the anticipation of the catch.
I like that.
But it goes even deeper than that.
Really?
Kayak fishing can foster a much stronger connection with
Definitely.
nature.
How so?
Well, think about it. In a kayak, you're not just watching nature from afar.
Yeah.
You're a part of it.
Yeah.
You're moving through the water,
Right.
interacting with the ecosystem,
You're in it.
encountering wildlife up close.
Yeah,
It really puts things in perspective.
that does.
That connection with nature can inspire a sense of awe,
Mm-hmm.
wonder, and gratitude. It can make us more aware of how we impact the environment
Right.
and motivate us to protect it.
That's a good point.
So it sounds like kayak fishing is more than just a sport.
Yeah. It sounds like it's a path to personal growth and environmental stewardship.
It's a journey
Yeah.
that can change our minds, bodies, and spirits.
Wow.
And the best part is,
What's that?
it's an adventure that's open to everyone.
It is.
So what are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Grab your paddle, cast your line,
Okay.
embark on your own kayak fishing adventure.
Let's do it.
The real treasure isn't just the fish you catch,
Right.
but the transformative experience itself.
I totally agree with that.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore the magic of kayak fishing here in Michigan.
It's magical.
Until next time, happy paddling.
See ya.